Hey there everyone, so today I decided I want to do another fountain pen video, but I want to do a little bit of a different type of fountain pen video. So it's been about a month since I did a pen video, but I had watched a little while ago, and I'm going to try to remember, because I didn't remember to do it last time and when I said I would, but to put in the description, there's a video I saw of, I think the user was Zen of Men, and he did a video on vintage fountain pens, and it was a really interesting video, helpful video too. I have a few, but I don't have ones of the age of his except for this one that I'll specifically show you. However, for this one, what's different is that this is the oldest pen in my collection, and probably will remain that way. It's a pretty old pen. So this is a little set. It's a Mabie Todd Swan, but it's from the USA. They had several models in England area there, or the UK, I should say. But this one is labeled Mabie Todd New York, and it's also, I had to do a lot of digging for figuring out the age of it, because when I got it from Mr. Robert from Pen Shop in Memphis, which I guess say in the other video I did, the long update video when I got the Parker pen, that he does really well with his job. I've just about never had a pen that wasn't in good shape from him that I got, so and he's on eBay. And but anyway, in any event, so this pen drew my attention. I've had this pen a long time, but it wasn't until I saw that video where I was like, you know, I want to get that out and try to write with it again, because I had trouble figuring out what ink agreed with it, and at the time I wasn't super happy, but I just tried a different ink today. I tried this J. Herbon Noir, or is it Noir? This one's Noir Inspiration, and it's making it work pretty well, so I'm happy with that. But anyway, so this interesting pen, it's a ring top pen and pencil. So that's the pen and the pencil, and it dates from about the 1920s to 1930s. I found a one very similar model for sale on Peyton Street Pens, and that I read its article on that, and they said if your Mabie Todd pen does not have a indication of the gold content of the nib, then it's more than likely it's a pre-1930s, so, or they said it's an early model, so this one is probably from about 1925, perhaps, which is crazy that this pen probably just turned 100 years old and is still here and still in good shape. But it is a very, very minuscule little pen. It's a ring top pen as well, so, but however, I was able to get this one, I felt I had a pretty good deal. It was like $90 or something, which I didn't think was too bad for what it is. It's 14 karat number 2 semi-flex nib on this, and it's a lever filler. And but yeah, so I was just really intrigued by it. I'm beyond glad I got it. But anyway, so to get into a little bit more here, is in his video he was discussing how back in those days, you know, you would get a little bit better flex out of the pens, and I would agree, this one has decent amount of flex. It's not anywhere near I think he was showing, it wasn't a Waterman, he was showing a different brand, but it was a brand that Waterman made, and man, that one flexes out to like a triple broad or something, the one he showed. I would absolutely love to get one day. I have several in my for watching list in my eBay, so I'll see if that happens. But if this is all I have, I'm happy with it. But yes, and so I'll tell you a little bit about that, and so they're a little screw-off cap, and you could barely hold that if it was as it is, but it's kind of like a Kaweco Sport, I guess, because you post it, and then you can hold it. But yes, and then, I'm trying to see, let me get my loop, if I have it. Do I have it? Yes. No, I don't. I have the case for the loop, but not the loop. I just had it. Let's see. Is it under here? There it is. So, yes, so it does not list the gold content, but it would be 14 karat. So it's an early model. And this one says, Mabie, Todd and Company, New York, number 2. So that's what that says. And I assume it's more than likely an ebonite feed. This feed does have several fins down both sides. But yes, so it's just a really neat thing that this is still here and still working, surprisingly, which I'll show in a little bit. When I'm going to try to move the camera this time to show it. But this is the little bed that it sits in. And, yeah, just the fact that it's here, you know. Oh, it says Swan gift set. So the other thing that I learned is that on the Peyton Street article is that the Mabie Todd pins, when they were in the U.S., they didn't put Swan all over the pin like they would in the U.K. Sorry about that. But anyway, so I will show you it working here in a second, and I think that pretty much sums that up. There's no writing on the bottom, but yes. And I think that you'll find his video pretty interesting as well. It was really helpful because I learned I had owned either a 1940s or 1930s wall for a while. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to work on it or get help with it because, see, I shouldn't have got it when I got it because I was so new to old fountain pens at the time that when I got it, I thought you could use any ink you want to, but it's not the case. If you have an old pen, you've got to steer clear from inks with bad pHs and things that will affect it. And unfortunately and sadly, I corroded the old wall. It did still write when I tried it, but I'm going to have to put a new ink sac in it probably or something. So, but I learned my lesson, and I'm not doing it with this. So, and I looked up that J. Herbon should be fine in this, and but I clean my pens a lot more thoroughly than I used to, and I try to be more conscientious about it, you know, and so, but yeah, this one is pretty good, though. I'm really glad I got it. It writes about an extra fine to a fine point with no pressure, and it flexes out to about a broad, and it's just really nice. I wouldn't say that it's definitely not a wet noodle, this model, but it's still a good, pretty fair example of what, you know, a fountain pen that many years ago would offer. So I believe I'm going to cut it right here, and I'll see you back on the paper to show you it work. So hopefully work. I tested it, so we'll see. And I will see you back, and yeah, so I hope that was a pretty good little chat about one of probably my favorite things in my pen collection. So I will see you back. Okay, guys, so I'm back to show some writing with this very, very vintage pen. So we'll uncap it. Takes several turns to open, but anyway. So I hope that I can get around the camera, but anyway. So this is the Maybe, I think that's how you say it. Todd. Swan. Gift set, like I said, but I'll just put it as it is. And that's the line with no pressure. And then the ink is J. Herbon. This is Nor. Inspiration. I'm probably going to misspell it. So sorry about that. And then I think the one thing that major thing to note about old pens is you're definitely not going to get a glassy, smooth experience, even if it is working as well. This is working pretty well. But it's not scratchy. You're just going to get more feedback. You could consider it like the level of feedback from perhaps a Sailor pen or an Aurora pen. And then this is, let's see, made in approximately 1925-ish, somewhere in those years. And this paper is Clairefontaine 90 GSM. I want to make sure I say that. But yes, so we'll just do a little bit with it. Definitely have to go slower with this type of nib, that's for sure. So I'm not going to do like a full like review type thing where I'm scribbling real fast. And, okay, so that's how it writes. And then in regards to the line variation, so that's like moderate pressure, and then we'll go back and forth a couple more times. So yes, so it's just a really interesting pen, that's for sure. I quite love it. Definitely not for, could use it every day, but I of course have to write slow with it and take your time, but I just love being able to have that. And it's can almost do a pearl necklace with this one, which is pretty neat. Does it pretty well, so I'm more than happy with that. So yes, so I hope that this was a neat video for you guys, and I hope that it was pretty interesting to see something from so long ago. And I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you pretty soon. So you guys take care.